Veuillez vous lever. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
We are in public session, Mr. President.
Before we proceed, just a small matter that has been brought to the attention of the chamber. It concerns a certain news report of what we supposedly said in the courtroom. It's been brought to my attention that in a newspaper called the Sudan Tribune, it is reported that a caution, quote, caution was issued to Mr. Ruto, quote, that if he does not heed the warning to not talk to the press about the facts of this case. Now I'm paraphrasing that part, but this is the part that I'm quoting. Quote, he could be arrested and detained by the court in The Hague, unquote. Those who were in the courtroom knew what was said on the matter, and this is not the exact terms of what was said on the matter. That's not to say the court doesn't have the power that it does, but it is one thing to report accurately what the court had said. It's another matter for people to suppose or imagine what the court would have said. It was a warning issued to both sides, in fact. The facts of this case will not be commented upon in the press by both the defense and the prosecution. They are not to make press comments about the facts of this case. That's the extent of it. It also tells us, counsel, this is one of instance of the dangers of bringing in press reports into our case, as tends to be the case, relying on newspaper reports. This is just one classic example of the dangers of doing that sort of thing. I'll leave it at that for now.
Mr. President, can I just say, and of course we are, all of us, alive to the danger of press reports, and I think even in the Calixte case, the judges there commented about the dangers of such material and the evidential value that they may or may not have. Your Honour, just for the sake of clarity, of course, the newspaper articles that the defence have thus far put in really have been for a very specific purpose, namely to fix in time certain events, and that's all I'll say, Your Honour.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, please proceed.
Now, Mr. Witness, when we left off for the break, you were speaking. I had asked you the question of how it was that the program, L'Emet, was very partisan, and you had explained to us briefly. Could you tell us what it is exactly that Mr. Sang was broadcasting? What was his perspective?
As far as I know, KSFM had agendas, and when it comes to a political agenda, they will lean on one side, take a position. And in fact, I remember there was a time when this word Kitwek had another meaning during referendum. It was pronounced no Kitwek. And this word was manufactured in the same program. And no Kitwek meant basically that we are not supporting the document. So, and no Kitwek could only be understood by the Kalenjins. This shows how the program was very partisan.
Can you tell us, Mr. Witness, what political party was Mr. Sang supporting in his program, Lenemet?
It appeared to me it was sodium.
And was he supporting any particular politician in the ODM?
It appeared to me, yes, Raila and Ruto.
And can you explain to the court what is it, what agenda was Mr. Sang broadcasting on the air related to Mr. Raila or Mr. Ruto?
In relation to Mr. Ruto, there was a time I had a program that had given a question that as Ruto mellowed enough, then people would call in. So at the end of the day, if I can remember, Sang would make a conclusion, and conclusion will always be in tandem with what people have said, the callers in. And it happens that the callers always speak the same language. And they are always the same people.
You stated previously, Mr. Witness, that the Lenemet show was principally a political show and that at times Mr. Sang would speak about land issues. Can you give us more information on what land issues, what would he say exactly?
I cannot remember exactly what, but at the end of the day, when it comes to land issue, he would urge people to protect their land. Our land is good, and callers in will say, God has given us a wonderful land. It's like Canaan. Those are few things I can remember for the time I listened to Lenemet, though I wasn't a regular listener.
Now I understand, Mr. Witness, that Mr. Sang would broadcast in Kalenjin language, is that correct?
Pardon?
When Mr. Sang was on air on his Lenemet program, in what language would he speak in?
Kalenjin. Lenemet was basically a Kalenjin program.
I'd ask to go into private session just for a couple of minutes, Your Honor.
Private session.